Good morning. Read a little from Fifth Agreement. I haven't been up moving too long yet. I've had a little bit of coffee and I haven't went for a morning walk yet either. By the way, welcome to the channel. Great cloudy day. That's still up in the air. Possibility of maybe changing the name of the channel a little bit. Still have the word cloud in it and might still have the word gray in it, but I'm not sure if it's going to still be great cloudy day. You know, that's another thing that came to me this past week in some of my walks and stuff. Some of the messages and things that I feel like the Spirit has been laying on my heart is I mentioned there's a possibility of dropping the whole Sage of the Eternal Moment thing, but then in that same few days of that particular message or thought being presented, I've also started to come to understand more about the whole title of Sage of the Eternal Moment. So it's looking like it might not get dropped. There was even a point in time this past week where I heard something say, well, maybe you're not gray cloud now. Maybe you're just cloud, you know? Really doesn't matter. Some people call me gray cloudy day. Some people call me gray cloud. Some people call me cloud. Some people call me butthole, you know? I try not to be a butthole, but sometimes, you know, we all can be. That's just part of the human condition, I think, sometimes. Let me read this to you, a few paragraphs here from the Fifth Agreement, and pick up where I left off last time. The last line we read was, you're giving yourself a message, and that message is the truth for you, because you believe that it's the truth. Okay, let's start off with the next paragraph. The story of you is everything that you know about you. And when I say this, I'm talking to you. Knowledge. What you believe you are. Not to you, the human, what you really are. As you can see, I make a distinction between you and you. Because one of you is real and one of you is not real. You, the physical human, are real. You are the truth. You, knowledge, you're not real. You're virtual. You only exist because of the agreements you made with yourself and with the other humans around you. You, knowledge, come from the symbols you hear in your head, from all the opinions of the people you love, the people you don't love, the people you know, and mostly the people you never know. Who is talking in your head? You make the assumption that it's you. But if you are the one who is talking, then who is listening? You, the knowledge, are the one who is talking in your head, telling you what you are. You, the human, are listening. But you, the human, existed long before you had knowledge. You existed long before you understood all those symbols, before you learned to speak, and just like any child, before he or she learns to speak, you were completely authentic. You didn't pretend to be what you are not. Without even knowing it, you trusted yourself completely. You loved yourself completely. Before you learned knowledge, you were totally free to be what you really are, because all those opinions and stories from other humans were not in your head already. Your mind is full of knowledge, but how are you using that knowledge? How are you using the word when it comes to describing yourself? It's a good question. When you look at yourself in a mirror, do you like what you see? Or do you judge your body and use all those symbols to tell yourself lies? Is it really true that you are too short or too tall, too heavy or too thin? Is it really true that you're not beautiful? Is it really true that you're not perfect just the way you are? Perfectly imperfect, right? Let's read another paragraph. Might as well. Can you see all the judgments that you have about yourself? Every judgment is just an opinion. It's just a point of view. And that point of view wasn't there when you were born. Everything you think about yourself, everything you believe about yourself is just because you learned it. You learned the opinions from mom, dad, siblings, and society. They sent all those images of how a body should look. They expressed all those opinions about the way you are, the way you are not, the way you should be. They delivered a message and you agreed with that message. And now you think so many things about what you are. But are they the truth? Trying to determine if I want to read another paragraph or not. Let's go ahead. It's rolling, isn't it? You see, the problem is not really knowledge. The problem is believing in a distortion of knowledge. And that it is what we call a lie. Did you get that? It ain't the problem that knowledge is. Knowledge ain't the problem. It's the distortion of knowledge that creates the lie. I like that. What is the truth and what is the lie? What is real and what is virtual? Can you see the difference? Or do you believe that voice in your head every time it speaks and distorts the truth while assuring you that what you believe is the way things really are? Is it really true that you're not a good human and that you'll never be good enough? Is it really true that you don't deserve to be happy? Is it really true that you're not worthy of love? I think we as a human beings sometimes tell ourselves these things daily, and sometimes I'm doing it subconsciously, not even realizing it. You know, picking apart my day and picking apart my image of myself and picking apart what I think I should be doing or what I think that the big kahuna wants me to do rather than just going with what the day brings. Now, of course, here lately, I've been doing a lot more of going with what the day brings. And some of what the day brings is mundane stuff. And some of what the day brings is the same thing every day, or it seems like the same thing. But am I choosing to experience each new moment of every day, even if it's somewhat of the same pattern? Am I experiencing each moment in full within itself? That's what I'm asking myself here lately, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's why you see me sort of just exploring different avenues of how to do my videos or how I want to do videos. It's not even just how I want to. There has been something in the past week that's really moving me to just shift things up, to ask questions, to read from different sources, and to just kind of roll with what is presented during my day. Yesterday, I had a really long, good conversation with someone, like over 3 hours. I had intended on doing a live stream yesterday, or, I had the intention of doing it. It wasn't set in stone, nothing is. But I ended up talking for so long with somebody that I just decided that, at a certain point, it was already a certain point in the day, and once I got off the phone, I was just like, you know what? I don't know if there's a necessary need for a live stream right now, today, or whatever. Now, that could be, I am intending on probably attending a service this morning just because I do enjoy, I don't go every week, but sometimes I'll make it for several weeks in a row, but when I do get to go on a Sunday morning to a church service, it usually presents a pattern for the week that just kind of goes pretty well. It's like I go there for the community. I go there because there's good people there. I've never felt judged there. So when I go, I do enjoy it. And I usually get some sort of uplifting message. And that's the key, It's like I wish there was more community to it. That's what I really long for. That's what I hoped for when I started going on a few years ago. But I see that it doesn't seem to be that way. I'm not saying that the people at the church aren't. They are a community, and they try to help each other out. They even help people that don't go to the church. They give out food every month and stuff like that. But it's like, I wish there was more of, when you're done, not everybody's just scattering to run as soon as they can to their car to screech home or to some restaurant because they're going to eat after church, and maybe because they have some job they have to get to, whatever it is. I wish that I could find somewhere where, like, there was more community, whether that be in a church or somewhere else. Like, even when I was going to AA a few years ago, I know that AA has functions and stuff, but I'm not meaning nothing against anybody that goes to the AA program here in the Henniger, but I went for almost an entire year, and I just didn't like that one particular group. Now, that means I could find another AA group and go to it. Yes, I could. But you guys, I live out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't drive. And yes, a lot of AA people will give you rides, but first I have to, there is one meeting that if I drove, I would have been going to it still, probably. I like the community. I like when I go. Like, even if I'm falling off the wagon, AA has good stuff in it. There's any 12-step program. If you have a struggle with addiction or anything, it can help you. Like for me, I have taken plenty of things from the 12-step programs over the years and applied them in my life, whether I was actively using or not. Because some of those principles, if you just apply them into life in general, it will help. The same with some things from religion. You don't have to be so religious, but there are things in some religions that you can find that could be utensils and tools for you to get through your days. Everybody's different. But I'm just trying to relate that, yes, for me, when I do make it to a service, usually that particular day goes really well. Usually, the string of days afterwards, they might not be the best, but they go in a smoother direction. As opposed to if I've missed a few weeks and not went to some type of service, the weeks start blending together and start seeming a little off. Now, is there anything to it? You can figure that out yourself. I tell you what throws me for a loop the most is not necessarily not attending a service at a building called church, but is when I particularly stop paying attention during the day to what the Spirit might be trying to show me, trying to guide me to, when I stop doing my own personal readings and studies, whether that's from Scripture or whether that's from other sources. But I read. I have been very grateful the past week or two. I've gotten way more into reading again, not just spiritual stuff and self-help, but also I'm slowly but surely going through some comic books and enjoying some entertainment as well. And I think that's a good thing too, is to be able to get out of our own head sometimes. It's funny, I was reading Jesus Always and Jesus Calling to Myself today, and then I had thought I was reading the right one, and it turned out I was on the wrong date, so I had to reread, had to go to the right date and read it. Same with, in the community section, I posted, at first I posted from July 26th, the Jesus Calling reading, and then I realized I had posted the wrong one, so I took it down and posted a picture of the words from July 27th today. So you can read that in the community. And if you have a copy yourself, you can read it to yourself. It's and I hope that anybody's not disturbed or upset that I'm not sticking to a regiment of strictly, this is what I'm reading every single day. Like tomorrow, I might get up and decide to read from this to you. I may get up and just read it to myself. But that's the key thing. A devotional is not always meant, I'm just sharing. I was sharing these devotional things because it helps me, but it also, I thought it was helping people and people enjoy it. But at the same time, I also like to have a mixture of things going on. And that's not just gray cloud talking. The Spirit kind of is trying to shuffle things up for me. For instance, like I said, I haven't even took a walk yet this morning. The way I have been doing is going for a walk first, usually, before I do a video. But I decided to go ahead and do these videos and make this. And so here you go. I'm about 15, 16 minutes in. Didn't intend to talk this long. And there is a possibility, like if I do make it to church today, I may, depending on how I feel after church, will determine, and I might go live. Might do a live stream after church. And if I don't go to service, I might choose to do a live stream earlier. It's still a couple hours before I have to actually make the decision on whether I'm going. But I'm going to get off here. You have a good day. I'm going to take a morning walk, put some headphones on, listen to some music, take a walk, and try to clear my head. You guys have a good day. Until next time, Mr. Gray Cloud. Sage of the Eternal Moment. Over and out. Ditto.